Now you have reached the execution phase. This session will familiarize you with the execution process necessary to actively contribute to a trial. This session is aimed at all trial stakeholders. So, what does it mean to execute a trial? How to follow the scenario script, timetable and data collection plan, and how to recognize a deviation from the script and how to address it.
In this step, the trial is executed. During the trial, all kinds of data, as described in the data collection plan, will be collected. This session will familiarize you with the execution processes on a level necessary to actively contribute to a trial run. What does it mean to execute a trial? How to follow the scenario script, timetable, and data collection plan. How to recognize a deviation from the plan and how to address it. The main objective of this phase is to assess innovative socio-technical solutions by gathering objective data. Executing a trial takes around 1 to 5 days. A trial is the final stage of the execution phase, and many roles are involved, such as the trial owner as the director of the trial, the practitioner coordinator, the evaluation coordinator, the technical coordinator, crisis management practitioners, observers, and others involved in making the trial happen. Driver Plus strongly advises a systematical method to execute a trial. This method is developed and tested on the basis of experiences gathered through organizing numerous exercises, demonstrations, and tests, and it is further matured and used for organizing and running the 5 trials in the Driver Plus project. The full setup for running a trial we explain in this session is especially useful for rather ambitious endeavors. For less complex trials, you might want to merge some steps or merge some organizational roles, but we strongly advise not to omit any steps or responsibilities. Let's have a look at how running a trial can look like. As you probably already spotted, there are a lot of people involved in a trial, and many things might impact the success of a trial run. There is the trial staff, who needs to have everything under control. They have a scenario and script to follow and a monitoring technical setup and data collection plan. The participants have a simulated crisis presented to them. They have to manage this crisis by using the solutions as much as possible. They have their standard operating procedures they need to follow, but are as well very creative, sometimes even more than you would like them to be. These participants are being watched by observers in how they manage the crisis and how they are using the solutions. The observers are being led by the evaluation coordinator, based on the prepared data collection plan. The trial staff is supported by operators and role players. They use the simulators and provide role-played injects. The operators also use the technical setup to troubleshoot technical issues if they occur. And they are there to make sure that the digital data sent over the technical infrastructure is also logged and stored for evaluation. Because a trial requires quite a setup and several persons involved, it is crucial to do dry runs before doing the actual trial run. You will learn more about this in sessions 3.2 and 3.4. There is only one principle of running the trial. Set everything according to your plan. Everything has already been tested during the dry runs, so set it up, check the readiness of those elements that your role is responsible for, report their readiness to the coordinators, and when overall readiness is confirmed, just do everything as prepared. So high over, there are 4 types of persons contributing during a trial run. First, there are the participants. Their expertise and knowledge are indispensable for trial success. Then there is the trial staff, consisting of the main coordinators. Observers have to ensure collection of data for further evaluation. Operators will help the trial staff to run everything flawlessly. This team consists of role players and technical facilitators. Let's take a closer look at the roles within the trial staff. In session 2.3, you already got acquainted with the 4 main roles within preparation of a trial. Let's now take a look at them from an execution perspective. The trial owner is responsible for the overall management and success of the trial. During execution phase, he or she is leading and coordinating the trial committee and its coordination meetings. During dry runs and the trial itself, he or she most probably is directing it. The trial owner then is the trial director and personally initiates and finishes the sessions and leads ad hoc trial committee meetings if any unexpected challenges appear. The technical coordinator is responsible for all the technical aspects and implements the testbed technical infrastructure. During the trial, he or she is responsible for technical readiness. In case of any technical issue, he or she is responsible for analyzing the issue together with technicians from the solutions and reports it to the trial owner. The main task of the practitioner coordinator is to support the participating practitioners and organize the communication with them. The evaluation coordinator has a vital role to keep all data collection and evaluation aspects always in focus. At the end, that is what a trial is all about. The core team will form a trial committee led by the trial owner. The trial doesn't need to involve many roles if it's a small trial. But in case of a larger trial with multiple participants in different crisis management functions, or when assessing multiple solutions, this change in size brings the necessity of adding new roles that will take over some of the tasks for the 4 main coordinators. Here are some examples of roles that can be added if you feel needed. The training coordinator is responsible for ensuring that high-quality training is conducted by the solution providers, such that the participants can use the solutions well during the trial. The safety coordinator ensures overall safety of trial. This is particularly important in case you use, for instance, outdoor locations, physical equipment, or execute your trial like a live exercise. The tasks of the logistics coordinator are aimed at ensuring that all practical and logistical matters of the trial event are fully prepared and executed according to this plan. Think of catering, transports, and venue management. And the last role proposed here is the media coordinator, who supports the trial committee in matters relating to the media and other communications. Do not hesitate to enlarge the trial committee in case of a big trial or a specific situation that causes many problems, for example, logistics. Extra roles can and should be added if needed. With a well-equipped and managed team, you can achieve better results. Let's make a short stop at the 2 tools that should help you to direct your trial. During the preparation phase, you should draft your own trial script and data collection plan. During the execution phase, these are further detailed, rehearsed, and perfected. Both the trial script and the data collection plan are documented within the trial action plan. The trial script describes precisely who does what at which time and how. It's your playbook on how to execute your trial run. It contains the list of injects that together form the scenario. But it also contains the information to give during the briefings and all other organizational aspects. The data collection plan is the reason for executing a trial. It describes which data you want to collect when and is thus closely related to the trial script. This data collection plan serves during execution and the check on whether you are still collecting the data you need for evaluation later on. The trial action plan is a comprehensive co-working template which allows to prepare a trial. More information on this can be found in session 5.1. The trial script can and should be tailored for a particular trial, as elements useful for one event might be redundant or unwanted in another. It consists of injects, such as messages, simulations, and interactions, to be played by role players. An inject is a basic element of the scenario. Each inject has its reason. It can initiate solution usage, provide additional information about narrative, force participants' reaction, or just increase the immersion. Here you see an example of a list of injects. It lists all injects based on the time they are foreseen to be executed. For each inject, it is listed which role or actor it is aimed at. For each inject, it is initiated when or under which conditions it should be initiated. Defining on forehand which result is expected from the inject helps the simulation team to control the flow of the trial. They will see if players reacted accordingly, and if not, will be able to alarm the trial director. The table also lists how the inject is to be given, for instance, by a phone call from a role player or by a simulator. The last two columns comment each inject with information, or which legacy systems are currently utilized to respond to this inject, and how it is foreseen in the innovation line, so by using the solution. This means this table of injects can, in principle, be used for both the baseline runs and the innovation line runs. An enormous important ability for the trial staff is to react to unexpected situations or behaviors. The crisis you are staging is fictive, so you can control when things happen or do not happen. Sometimes participants' creativity can lead to them using a witty shortcut that, however, might disrupt the true reason of executing a trial, namely to collect data on how the solutions are being used. That's why you as staff should constantly monitor the trial course by following the trial script. Observe the participants and check with your data collection plan. In case of a deviation, you can force a pause or redo. Remember, we are not here to brilliantly resolve a crisis, but to trial a solution and assess whether it really can bridge your gap. Here is a list that we prepared. It shortly concludes all actions that we believe are the most important for a proper trial execution. The trial should start with only the staff being present. First, all the previous steps must be finished and all technologies fully deployed. Then, there is a last preparatory briefing. Staff, technicians, and other vital partners should gather up and once more quickly listen about all roles and actions. The second part is when externals join. Trial participants, observers, and other guests come in. Your aim should be to assure that they all understand what the trial is, why they are here, and what is planned for in the coming hours and days. Then, if needed, the training on solutions and other technical tools starts. It is highly recommended you allow some time for all participants to practice in using all these tools in the setting of the real trial run. In the end, all participants be fully clear about their roles. The trial run is pretty straightforward. Just do everything as it was planned, follow the trial script, and collect observations. At the end, there is a time for a wrap-up session. Do a hot wash-up to collect feedback. Also, do a correct final wrap-up or debriefing, and do not forget to store all data. Let's recap the inputs and outputs of the trial execution step. The input in this step is the trial script, which is output from the preparation phase, and which is fully rehearsed in the previous steps of the execution phase. The output is a raw dataset which is the result of all observations, measurements, and digital logs during trial execution. This data will then be further checked, analyzed, synthesized, and disseminated in the evaluation phase. Let's recap the useful methods and tools that are recommended to use in trial execution. There are many methods available to collect data, qualitative data as well as quantitative. Think of human observation, digital data logging, and taking measurements. The tools that are recommended to use are of course the solutions. The testbed technical infrastructure, including the use of simulators, the observer support tool, and the trial action plan. Have a look at sessions 5.1 and 5.2 for more information on these tools. Once you think you are ready to commence with running your trial, it is advised to at least check the following. Are all systems up and running? Is every kind of data collection tested and confirmed? Was the solution training conducted? What about all trial materials? Were they printed and distributed? And are the observers and participants fully briefed? We have one additional tip. Make sure all forms and agreements regarding ethical or legal issues are in place. Incompatibilities can cause a lot of trouble later on during evaluation. If all this has been checked, your trial is ready to be executed.